Good morning, I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela and we are the Castros.
Hey, good morning sa lahat ng viewer.
morning.
Happy Thursday. Hindi ako nag-shave.
Oo nga.
Alam bakit hindi ako nag-shave?
Bakit?
Hanggat hindi humupa ang mga balita na kainit ng ulo.
Talaga? Hindi ka na magsishave kahit kailan.
Kahit tumubuto ng ganyan.
Hindi yan huhupa. I'm telling you.
Hanggang magbalikan ang love team na nag-break kahapon.
Hindi na yan.
Diba?
So forever ka na, tatanggapin mo na na magiging balbasarado
Umaasa pa ako na magbalikan sila.
Umasa ka pa?
So in the meantime, forever na akong ganyan.
Sigurado ka?
Hindi, joke lang yun.
Ayusin mo.
Hindi, pero
umasa sila.
Yung viewers natin, stay tuned kasi alam mo naman ang pangyayari this whole week. Ang dami-dami issue. Of course, nagsimula tayo na yung nangyari sa Philippine Navy crewmen natin, di ba? And yesterday, yung tambalan na PBBM and
the breakup we all anticipated.
And hindi lang yan, that's the initial breakup. Ang titignan natin moving forward, ano ang mga susunod na sagutan.
What's going to happen.
Yes.
Diba?
Kaya keep on watching us today, tomorrow, every day. Huwag nyo ipapalit ang channel. Because we're serving you news in a countdown.
All that before your second cup of coffee. This is Brunch. Now, before we go to our top 10, let's first talk about this. The Armed Forces of the Philippines. Naku, tingnan natin, ha? Hindi ba? Okay. Sige. Hindi, kasi meron tayong kakausapin.
Yeah, initially,
today.
Although nasa countdown natin, Angel, yung issue sa AFP, di ba? May kakausapin tayo.
Mataas for sure ang kinalalagyan ng usapin tungkol dyan sa West Philippine Sea, sa countdown natin. No? Isa yan sa magiging nasa loob yan ng top 3 for sure.
Kasi ang question in the people's minds is bakit nauna ang China at yung G7 na naglabas ng condemnation against actions ng China sa atin. Tapos yung Philippines, ang bagal mag-release ng information, ng statements, ng video sa pangyayari with China.
And parang yesterday lang talaga, well, nung 8, ano ba kahapon? 19, diba? Nung 18, naglabas na sila na may na-injured na soldiers, may ganito nangyari. Pero yesterday lang talaga lumabas lahat yung mga videos and photos regarding the incident.
Usually,
so, liyawin lang natin, yung naputol na daliri ng soldier, ng Navy personnel, naipit siya. Naipit yun, kaya naputol nung pag-ram, diba nga, ng China dun sa Navy vessel. Kasi may ibang balita na sinabi na kapag-agawan ng armas, kaya naputol.
Sa Bolod. May isa pa lumabas sa Bolod daw.
Kaya naputol yun dahil naipit siya dun sa pag-ram nga ng... di ba naghahabulan di ba? Okay, sige. Ito na nga. Before we go to our top 10, let's first talk about this. The Armed Forces of the Philippines released the videos of the China Coast Guard brutally confronting their personnel during a resupply operation in Ayungin Shoal on Monday, June 17. Now, in the video, CCG personnel attached ropes to tow the AFP's vessel. A CCG personnel also heightened the tension by threatening our soldiers with a pickaxe. The Chinese Coast Guard also aggressively rammed our boat and threw tear gas to intensify the chaotic situation. They also utilized the constant blaring of sirens and deployment of blinding strobe lights to create disorientation among our soldiers. So, yun ang pinag-uusapan natin. And let's further talk about this. We have with us via Zoom, if I'm not mistaken, AFP phone. Okay, via phone with AFP spokesperson Colonel Margaret Padilla. Good morning, spokesperson. Colonel. Good morning, spokesperson.
Yes, Colonel, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, Colonel, let's get right to it. Angel, go ahead.
Yeah. AFP po initially did not want to disclose yung details about ito nga pong nangyaring harassment sa West Philippine Sea. I was wondering what made them release more information and videos of the incident just yesterday.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines is committed to our policy of transparency as an important aspect of our strategy. In keeping Filipinos and the world abreast to the illegal, coercive, aggressive, and deceptive actions of China in the West Philippine Sea. While this is true, we are also balancing operational security and accuracy to ensure that our operations are not compromised due to unauthorized disclosure of sensitive and inaccurate information. So ito po, on the delays, no, our operational security considerations necessitated for this delay. We wanted to safeguard our strategic and tactical interests.
Okay.
And it was also necessary po, sir, to ensure a comprehensive and fact-based account of the incident.
Okay. Colonel, ano po yung reaction nyo na pinag-uusapan yung possible invoking of the Mutual Defense Treaty, not only for the purposes of war, pero possible daw, baka pwedeng i-explore na ma-escortan tayo ng United States Navy pag nagkaroon ng future missions?
Yes, sir, no. While this incident is clearly an attack on a Philippine vessel and forces in the West Philippine Sea, ang decision po to invoke the Mutual Defense Treaty resides in our higher civilian authority. What we want to emphasize, however, is that sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas po will remain committed to our mission to sustain our presence in the West Philippine Sea, protect our national interests and entitlements po dyan sa region, and of course, prevent po further escalation.
Yes, that's right.
Po of the President.
In line with that, Angel, wait lang, may additional lang ako. Kasi the reason why napag-usapan nga yung MDT is because may nasaktan pong sundalo. I'd like to ask, kamusta na po ang mga sundalo natin at saka yung sundalo na nasaktan? How are they doing right now?
Kahapon po, no, we went to Western Command. Sinet po natin yung lagayan ng ating mga sundalo. Yung injured po natin was already received proper medical assistance. And of course, binigyan din po natin sa ng wounded personnel medals by our chief of staff. And we also checked the morale and welfare po of our troops stationed in the area.
Okay.
Masasabi naman natin, sir, na yung ating fighting spirit is very much alive. And our troops are showing courage to pursue on with continuing with our relations.
There were reports po nung mga seized equipments natin na kinuha po ng mga Chinese tulad na lamang po ng mga disassembled firearms and other equipment. How are we talking to the authorities regarding this? Paano po natin sila kinakausap sa pagbawi po nitong mga kagamitan natin?
Ito po, ma'am, no, nakita nyo nga sa video, no, system amount to acts of piracy. So we are demanding po that these are properties of the Philippine government and that this be returned accordingly. And dapat po, ma'am, no, pagbayaran po nila itong mga equipment po natin na nasira po during this incident.
Meron na po ba silang sagot regarding this, ang Chinese Coast Guard?
Ito, ma'am, we'll leave it to our higher authorities, no, the DFA, in terms of this talk.
Okay, Colonel, I'd like to ask also, of course, about the BRP Sierra Madre, yung strategic importance niya. Do we have plans po to rehabilitate it? Because yung mga latest videos natin of it looks na medyong dumadami po ang kalawang and medyong dilapidate na po ang barko.
Yes, sir, no, as our mission po in the AFP is to also protect yung pong welfare ng ating tropa. Isama na dito po yung kanilang living condition.
Alright. Moving forward, syempre, kasi usually po talaga ang nalalaman po natin na kapag nagro-RORE mission po tayo, ay PCG po yung pumupunta doon, sakay po ng mga rented boats, diba? Civilian in nature, But moving forward po after this, what happened na Navy po, Navy personnel ang gumawa nitong RORE mission natin. Moving forward, ano na po ang gagawin natin? Will it be still Navy personnel or babalik po sa PCG?
Ito kasi, ma'am, BRP Sierra Madre, it's a commissioned vessel of the Philippine Navy.
Right.
So ito pong RORE missions natin are missions po of the armed forces of the Philippines.
Okay.
And with this mission po, the Philippine Coast Guard was with us performing humanitarian mission. So kung makita niyo po yung role nila in this RORE, they were the ones po who helped us evacuate our wounded personnel. And they were the ones po who told our reach back to the mainland.
Balikan ko lang din po yung nangyari doon po sa West Philippine Sea sa pagitan ng Chinese Coast Guard at saka ng ating Navy personnel. Ano po ang kumbaga naging ending nung pangyayari na iyon after po na nagpilit na kunin po ng mga Chinese Coast Guard yung kagamitan natin, binutasan po yung mga rubber boats natin, etc.
Yun nga po ma'am, no? After the incident, noon pong they were, nag-loot na nga po sila, kinuha po nila anything that they could salvage, pati lang po yung personal phones din ng ating mga tropa. Kung binutas na po nila itong mga rubber boats natin, the Philippine Coast Guard being there for humanitarian, sila po ang nag-go to the mainland po ng ating mga vessels.
And overall po, kamusta rin po kayo bilang syempre po miyembro rin po ng Armed Forces of the Philippines and the rest of the members of the AFP and Philippine Navy dito po sa nangyaring insidente na ito noong Lunes?
Ito nga ma'am, no, our fighting spirit is very much alive. Nakita po natin po and our resolve po to continue on performing this RORO mission will be pursued. No? Continuous po natin gagawin ito. Magtutulong-tulong po tayo dito. Titignan po natin lahat po ng iba po pong possible ways of doing this successfully and safely po.
Paano naman po yung mga soldiers natin na nasa BRP Sierra Madre na hindi po nakakuha nitong last supply supposedly nila na dadalhin nga po nung Lunes? Kamusta po sila doon? At saka, kailan po nila ulit makukuha supposedly yung kanilang magiging supply?
Currently, ma'am, they have sufficient provisions. And nakausap po natin sila via VTC, no? And they remain in good spirit. And they're continuing their mission with resilience and determination.
Okay, Colonel, there's no denying na ang dami pong nag-init ng ulong mga kababayan upon seeing yung video sa nangyari sa atin ng mga sundalo. Ano po ang mensahe natin sa kababayan natin para kumalma po lahat ng mga nakapanood ng video?
Sir, ang Sandatahang Lakas ng Pilipinas po, a long-term strategy to involving maintaining a strong and consistent presence po dito sa UNISOL. Gagawin pa rin po natin itong mga rotation and resupply missions. We will improve our stations and facilities and enhance po our maritime operations. We are committed to protecting our territorial integrity and supporting po our personnel that are stationed there.
So, sorry.
Sa Filipino people po, sir, no?
Yeah.
We want to assure that the AFP is committed po to protecting our territorial integrity and maritime rights. Tutuloy po natin to, no, to uphold the rule of law and defend our sovereignty.
So,
hinihiling po namin yung suporta niyo po.
Definitely.
Intindi po dito.
Yes. Definitely, Colonel. So you're saying, despite of what happened, hindi po madedeter ang AFP, tuloy pa rin ang mga missions. You won't let this latest incident stop you?
Yes, sir. We will not be deterred, sir, and we will not be here.
Okay.
All right,
Great.
on that note, we will continue to get updates
Definitely,
from you. But for the meantime, thank you so much, AFP spokesperson Colonel Margaret Padilla. Mabuhay po kayo.
Ma'am, on a closing note po, i-emphasize lang po natin ang real issue at hand, which is China's legal presence in the West Philippine Sea and other areas in our jurisdiction. Everything else po is merely a distraction and part of their deceptive tactics. Thank you very much po for having your voice heard.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was Colonel Margaret Padilla, ang spokesperson ng Armed Forces of the Philippines. Actually, marami pa tayong gustong itanong.
Yeah,
tapos marami pa tayong gustong...
But we're gonna talk about later on naman.
i-discuss tungkol dito. Pero tulad nga na nasabi natin, for sure, itong issue na to sa West Philippine Sea ay nasa mga bantang top 1, top 2 natin yan.
Sabi ni Colonel, sa mga mainit na ulo, relax lang kayo, may plano kami dyan, long term naman yan.
Basta ako, for me, ang importante, kahit iba-iba pa yung mga political stand natin, basta pagdating dito
Dapat
sa issue ng
message.
teritoryo natin, one message lang tayo, di ba?
Okay.
As a nation tayo magre-responde tungkol dito. But, of
Angel
course,
for President.
iboto.
Okay, medyong pag-aang muna tayo ng loob muna. Let's go on.
Malapit po sa puso natin itong next topic natin for today dahil ranking 9th in our spot are disability rights. President Bongbong Marcos has declared July 17 to 23 as the National Disability Rights Week. Now, under this proclamation, number 597, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, must lead this yearly observation. The National Council on Disability Affairs, or NCDA, is tasked to identify programs, activities, and projects for the celebration. The National Disability Rights Week is part of the government's commitment to the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Oo, kasi every year naman, kino-commemorate yan, sineselebrate ng National Council on Disability Affairs together with different local governments here in Metro Manila and outside Metro Manila, dito sa bansa natin. Itong National Disability Rights Week na ito, July 17, 20. Minsan nga, di ba, pupunta tayo sa mga programs nila, etc. But ito lang yung sinabi nga ng presidente na dineclare niya to as officially, 'di ba, under Proclamation 597 na National Disability Rights Week. So ito na yung rights-based approach to disability. Kumbaga, will officially begin. So natutuwa yung mga kababayan natin, mga kapatid natin na may kapansanan na mas mabibigyan sila ng pansin doing this under the Marcos administration.
Okay.
Bakit?
Let's move on to the next. Coming in at top 8, the MMDA offers a 10,000 peso reward for anyone who can identify and locate a fake enforcer. The man allegedly tried to extort 2,000 pesos from a motorist by pretending, you heard it right, pretending to be a traffic enforcer. In a now viral video, the motorist can be seen asking the bogus enforcer to show his ID, but he suddenly left. The MMDA says it will file a complaint against the fake enforcer.
Kung sino po ang makaka-identify nitong taon to, ay bibigyan ko po personally ng reward na 10,000 pesos para po ma-file namin ng kaukulang demanda, criminal na demanda, ito pong taong ito na nagpapanggap po na empleyado or enforcer ng MMDA.
Linit ng ulo ni Chairman, no?
Kasi naman di ba? Talagang, buti na lang malakas yung presence of mind ng motorist na nakapag-video siya kaagad.
Yeah. Ito, ask for
kaya
the ID.
medyo na yung nagpapanggap na MMDA enforcer, medyo umatras siya, no? Na tawag dito na na teka muna, baka ko dito 'di ba? Mahuli ako, pero grabe siya, no? Grabe.
Hindi, I mean, yung amount of scams that are happening right now, medyong tumataas.
Left and right.
Meron din yung supposedly nag-escort, nag-post ng video na
may HPG.
Oo, yung may sticker daw ng HPG, yung pala
yung influencer ba yun?
Oo, yung chinek nila, yung the motorcycle is not registered to the HPG. Diba? Hindi nila alam saan nanggaling, anong unit ng police forces natin galing yun. Pero definitely daw hindi sa HPG yun. And a lot of other scams. Anong nangyayari? What's happening to everyone? Scamming each other. I mean,
left and right.
Oo, mahirap ang buhay, but the way to succeed in life is not by doing things that will put other people in jeopardy and also yourself. Diba? Always do what's right.
Buti na lang talaga, tulad ng nasabi ko kanina, malakas yung presence of mind nitong Ganun na lang, di ba?
Ngayon, may pretending to be an MMDA officer to extort money.
Pero buti nga hindi magkainitan ng ulo. Kasi di ba may mga road rage din tayo mga naitatala.
Escalating din ng road rage.
Mamaya kung itong niloloko niya na motorista mainitin ng ulo, hinuhuli mo ko bigla siyang barilin. Di ba? Yung mga ganyan. Naku.
Tawag ka na mag-scam kasi.
Pero cambio muna tayo sa ibang balita. Dahil napa-throwback to 90s ang fans na nanood sa concert ng Canadian songwriter na si David Foster noong Martes.
Ayon, bumida rin sa kanyang concert si SB19 Stel. Sa sobrang bilib ni David Foster kay Stel, pinabalik pa niya sa stage para kantahin ang isa sa kanyang mga sinulat na hit song. Para bigyan ng mukha ang balita, Mobile Journal, Francis Orcio.
Parang napatravel sa 90s ang fans ng nagbabalik bansang Canadian songwriter na si David Foster, kasama ang bigating artist sa kanilang concert sa Smart Araneta Coliseum para sa Hitman, David Foster and Friends Asia Tour 2024. Tampok sa concert ang classic hits na kanyang sinulat. Sa muling pagtungtong sa Philippine stage for the 5th time, sinabi ni David kung bakit binabalik-balikan niya ang Pilipinas.
And I've been to a lot of countries. There is no country that loves music more than the Philippines. It's just true.
Sa opening ng concert, pasabog na agad ang performance ng simulan ito ni Stel ng P-pop boy group SB19. Binigyan niya ng rendition ang kanta ni Adele na All I Ask, pati na ang Defying Gravity, habang napaindak ang The Big Dome nang i-perform ang debut single niyang Room. At mas lalo pang ipinamalas ni Stel ang husay sa pagkanta nang hamunin siya ni David na awitin ang All By Myself sa kalagitnaan ng concert. Sa eksklusibong panayam ng News 5 kay Stel sa backstage, ibinahagi niya ang saya at kaba sa ginawang pagkanta.
Actually, until now, medyo nagugulat pa rin po ako kasi to be honest, po siya, hindi po siya planado yung performance with Sir David. Bigla na lang pagsampa kanina during rehearsal, pinatry niya po yung song and then sabi niya kung gusto ko daw po i-perform tonight. Tapos hanggang sa, yun po, natuloy po yung performance.
Pero bago yan, sa labas pa lang ng Coliseum, di na napigilan mag-selfie ng ilang fans kahit di pa nagsisimula ang concert. Tulad ng magkakaibigang ito na excited sa performance ni David.
So excited actually with yung mga guests niya. Pino-follow ko kasi silang many years na.
I am expecting to relive the memories ng mga songs, love songs si David Foster.
Kasama sa concert sina Brian McKnight, Catherine McPhee, All for One at ang Filipino artist na sina JV Decena at Joaquin Garcia. Tila naging karaoke session nga ng kantahin ni McPhee ang Terrified. Habang napasenti ang crowd nang tinugtog ang I Swear na pinangunahan ng All for One. Pero hindi lang guest artist ang bumida. Di rin nagpahuli ang dalawang Pinay na ito na nag-volunteer sa harap para kumanta. Once in a lifetime experience, ika nga ang umawit habang tinutugtugan ng tanyag na kompositor.
Come on everybody!
Spotted sa concert at napakanta pa sa kanilang pwesto sina Media Quest President and CEO Jane Basas at TV5 President Guido Zabaliero, pati na ang Big Boss Manny V. Pangilinan. Ang Hitman concert ni David ay presenta ng MQ Live at MWell. Umaasa ang mga fans na magkakaroon ulit ng performance si David sa hinaharap kasama ng iba pang singers na kanyang nakatambal sa pagbuo ng mga classic song hits. Mobile journalist Francis Orcio po, hatid ang mukha ng balita.
Sample nga, All By Myself. Ang galing ni Stel. Grabe. First time ko siyang narinig kumanta.
Sa kabilang programa, nagpakita ka ng rap. Dapat sa sarili mong programa, papakita ka rin ng talento.
That's what friends are for. Coming up, a recent assessment shows that Filipino students are lagging behind in terms of creative thinking.
And Vice President Sara Duterte has resigned as DepEd Secretary. Does this mean she's part of the opposition now?
We are just getting started. Bakit masakit ulo mo?
Hindi ko alam kung anong sakit ulo yung sa West Philippine Sea o yung pagkanta mo eh.
Oh, di bale. We are just getting started mga kapatid. More of our top 10 news when brunch returns. Keep it here on One News. Good morning. You're still watching Brunch here on One News.
Oy, mga comments sa mga ka-brunchies natin. Dami-dami. We have Armando Valimento. O ikaw daw mag-shoutout sa kanya. Gusto niya ikaw.
Hi, Armand. Saan hindi ko nakita? Armand
daw siya
Valimento.
sa inyo sa kabilang istasyon.
Hi, hello.
O, dapat manood ka rin dito ha. Tuloy-tuloy lang yan. And we have, wag itong sunod na message. Hindi maganda to. Ito, Jession Olandag. Iyak lang ng iyak. Bakit kaya? Tapos si Lito Gregorio Mendoza, good morning Miss Angela.
Si Ralph Domingo is also watching. Si
Yeah.
Gary ko sa ating YouTube naman ay nakikinig din sa atin at nanonood. Si Sam Pokemon Go,
Wait, ako
sabi
magbabasa
niya,
ng Ma'am Angel,
Tagal eh,
nagdilim daw bigla. Wait, binabasa ko kasi lahat.
tagal magbasa eh. O, go
O, di
na,
wag na
go,
iba.
bilis.
Sabi ni Sam Pokemon Go, nagdilim daw bigla sa pagkanta ni Angel.
Grabe kayo sa akin.
Medyo nga nagdilim.
Madilim na yan kanina po.
Tapos,
Huwag niyo isisisi sa akin yan. Nung El Nino, hinahanap niyo kaming magagaling kumanta.
ay, sabi pala
Ngayon
ni
hindi na kami kailangan.
Ralph Domingo, condolences daw sa kay
Of
CJ De
course.
Silva. Batang 90s kids yan.
Of
Oo,
course.
medyong, yun, bad news yun. Oo. Pero let's go on. Let's move on.
Go.
Let's go.
Alright, let's move forward to our topic for today. Entering our seventh spot is our rice supply. The Agriculture Department plans to import more rice to ensure enough supply of buffer stock. The DA said they are targeting to import 363,000 metric tons of rice. This is in line with their plan of launching the Bigas 29 program in July. Under this, rice in Kadiwa stores will be sold at 29 pesos per kilo. However, the DA clarified that they will prioritize selling local price or local rice in Kadiwa stores. That's why the department approved the selling of NFA rice that were already in stock for 3 months.
Yung importation, of course, subject yun sa magiging clearance. Una, kung papayagan yung amendment sa RTL. Pangalawa, kung magkakaroon ng executive order na i-allow ang DA to do this. Kasi under Price Act, pwede naman.
So, itong mga rice na to will be sold sa Kadiwa stores. And yung mga nasa Kadiwa stores na rice na to, po pwedeng mabili also, sabi nila, exclusive for or mauunang ibebentahan mga PWD.
At 29 pesos per kilo.
Oo, at saka senior citizen. Kasi may iba yata na bumibili doon na parang ang tawag dito na namantala, na ginagawang negosyo, kung bibili ng marami.
Oy, ang daming-
So yung para sa mahihirap, nawawala na talaga.
Ang dami daw nahuhuli minsan ng mga middlemen na namimili sa Kadiwa na pinapakyaw
Yun nga
by the tens and 20s of kilos.
Kasi bebenta nila ng what? How much?
At 59 to 60 yung local rice eh.
Totoo.
58 to 60. Mindoro rice, ang mahal ng Mindoro rice, nasa 62. Diba? So ngayon, at least may mga IDs na kailangan lang ipakita para i-avail mo yung 29 peso price kasi priority ka yung mga PWDs tsaka mga
Senior citizen. The poorest of the poor,
The
diba?
poorest, yung mga nasa laylayan kung may
Oo.
ID ka. Oo.
Exactly. Ang tanong dyan, kasi sabi nga ng DA, they will target to import 363,000 metric tons of rice. Implemented na ba yung pagbaba ng tariff rice from 35 to 15%? Kasi, well, correct me if I'm wrong, wala pa ako nakikita kasing, kumbaga, implementation na paper regarding it. Kung ngayon na ba? Kasi yung mga ibang rice retailers are also asking kung teka muna, syempre, mag-i-import kami ng rice kapag nababa mo na yung tarifa, di ba? Sino ba naman ang gustong mag-import? Kung ikaw ay importer, antayin mo na from 35 to 15%.
Kasi kung mag-i-import ka habang mataas ang tarifa, tapos biglang ibaba nila a week after, so yung mga susunod na stock na papasok, mas mura. So syempre, hindi mo na bibilin o tatangkilikin yung mga naunang batch, malulugi yung mga ibang importer din.
But at the same time, yung ibang mga stakeholders dito, yung mga farmers, mga rice farmers, nagsasabi sila, as much as possible, sana nga daw, wag na nga ituloy itong 35 to 50% na cut no, sa tariff ng rice. Because sabi nga nila, sila talaga maapektuhan nito, yung mga farmers. Okay?
Okay, next. Moving over to our top 6, the Comelec and Bank has allowed, in principle, the posting of COCs and CONAs on their website. Comelec Chairman George Garcia says posting the document is intended to ensure transparency. He adds that the poll body's law and IT department has been tasked to create the guidelines for posting. COC, or Certificates of Candidacy, is a document that a person must file before running for a position. CONA, or Certificate of Nomination and Acceptance, meanwhile, is for a party's endorsement of a candidate. Garcia has also recommended the online publication of the statements of Contributions and Expenditures, or SOSE. This document indicates cash and in-kind contributions received by the candidate during the election period.
Okay. Alright, kasi maganda rin yan yung sa Certificate of Candidacy, yung filing, that is going to be October, di ba? Sabi mo nga dyan sa October. Kasi may sinasabi nga dyan si Comelec Chairman George Garcia, di ba, na wag abusuhin yung pagfa-file ng Certificate of Candidacy because of what happened during yung previous years, di ba?
Kasi parang ang sinabi ng ibang taga-Comelec, nagiging sarsuela na yung pag-filing, which it should be a serious matter because nalilihis ang tao, nalilito ang tao minsan, they fail to see already kung ano yung mga options sa kanila in terms of sino yung candidate talaga. Kasi namamask na mga storylines sa filing pa lang.
Sa
filing pa lang may plot twist na di ba?
Naalala ko nga nitong last election
Vice Presidential,
diba? Nag-file si Senator
Bato
de la Rosa. Pero we all know na dahil dun sa president, di ba, na nangyari before kay President Rodrigo Duterte na pinalitan niya si Martin Dino. Alam natin na parang ganun din yung kahinatnan, which is ganun nga yung nangyari. So, para nga maiwasan na ulit yung ganun pangyayari, sabi ni Comelec Chairman George Garcia, di ba, lagyan natin ng deadline.
Tsaka itong sinasabi niyong transparency, kaya allowed mo na i-post. Diba? Para may access na yung tao. Real time, diba? Hindi yung nagre-rely lang sa mga reports kung sino yung nagpalit, sino yung diba? Kasi yan ang iniiwasan nila na maging convoluted daw or medyo cluttered ang pagiging filing. They want it seamless, they want it transparent, and they want it accurate.
Alright, moving on. Ranking at top 5, Filipino students rank at the bottom when it comes to creative thinking. According to the Program for International Student Assessment, or PISA, 15-year-old students in the Philippines scored 14 points on average. That places the country in the bottom 4 among 64 countries. Nations that landed in the top are Singapore, Korea, and Canada. This is the first time that PISA conducted an assessment of students' creativity.
Alam mo, interesting yan. It's because if you look at the data, the Philippines also ranks first in consumption of social media. Di ba? With our children mostly at the top also. So it is proven with social media kasi meron kang AI. You have access to AI, you have access to apps that already does everything for you. Right. So the user of the apps or the AI, yung pagka-creativity niya or coming out with his own ideas or mas stimulate yung brain niya to think, nawawala. Because everything is made easier with a smartphone.
Totoo.
So when they're nakababad sila sa mga apps sila sa phone, hours and hours on end, sabi nga nila, hindi na exercise ang creative mo, creativity. So
kasi parang nakadepende ka na dun
Even ang research sa school, di ba, yung panahon ko, hindi ko alam panahon mo. Panahon ko, in order to get certain yung pinapa-research ng teacher, talagang babasahin mo book after book after book.
Tsaka nabutan ko din yung yung encyclopedia.
Oo.
Diba? Although madali ngayon, pero di ba yung encyclopedia nun talagang may way of reading it, may way of researching. Meron kang yung mga volumes.
Naalala ko yung gumagawa ko research paper. In order to get a 2-page research done, meron ka tinatawag cross-researching. So meron kang 4-5 encyclopedia sa harapan mo, nagsastabilo marker ka from page to page. Just kasi iba-ibang info by letter, by alphabet yan di ba? Ngayon, i-google lang nila, nandun na. Parang they don't even understand what they're researching anymore. Basta they get it from Google, they change the words, they put it on the paper. So yung creativeness of researching, creativeness of coming up with things, nawawala. Because everything is made easier.
May mga template na, di ba? Take for example, yung mga apps natin ngayon, yung mga gagawa ka ng poster or gagawa ka ng videos, di ba? Instead of you editing it yourself or putting on, di ba, yung creative juices mo, ilagay mo doon. Ay, dito na lang ako, may template, mas madali
Exactly.
Di ba? So, yun yung nagiging side effect ng artificial intelligence, ng technology natin.
Di ba nga yung last time mag-uusap kami nila, Papu? Di ba kasi nagba-vlog kami, may mga certain apps na ginagamit to Siyempre kami ni Papu, medyo old school pa the way we edit. We use the linear editing. May yung certain app na gusto namin, may may ano siya eh, may outlays pa na ano eh. Pero yung mga ibang tao, this popular app sa Apple na ginagamit sa iPhone, templated na ang editing sa vlog mo. All you have to do is give the app.
Lagay mo lang yung picture mo, yung video mo doon, tapos i-generate na siya.
Diba sasabihin na app, maglagay ka ng 10 7-second video mo, kami na bahala mag-edit. I-edit niya,
But maganda yan ngayon, sobra kasi super fast-paced na yung buhay natin ngayon. So talagang, ang hirap naman mag-edit, ganyan, kaya yun ang ginagawa. Pero in the long run, ito yung nagsasuffer sa atin.
What happens to the future generations?
Oo nga eh. Isipin mo, aside from Philippines, Uzbekistan also scored 14. At saka, while Albania scored 13, sila yung nasa lowest rank. Pero kasabay natin yung Uzbekistan. So, yung tama tayo, diba? Singapore, South Korea, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Estonia, Finland, Denmark, and Latvia. Yan yung mga mataas yung kanilang score sa creative team.
Habol-habol.
Sa South Korea, hindi mo talaga maaalis sa kanila. Ang dami nilang mga innovations dyan na tayo sumusunod lamang sa kanila. Diba? Alright, let's move forward.
And the saga continues. Still sizzling. At the fourth spot is Alice Guo. The camp of the suspended Bamban mayor denied accusations that she is Guo Huaping. Guo's lawyer, Stephen David, challenged Senator Win Gatchalian to present his documents in a proper forum so they can answer his accusations. Gatchalian earlier presented documents accusing Guo of being a Chinese citizen named Guo Huaping, who arrived in the Philippines from China on January 12, 2003. David insisted that Guo is a Philippine passport holder. He also asked if Guo is indeed a Chinese citizen, then how come she was able to apply for a Chinese visa?
Kung nag-a-apply ka ng Chinese visa, illogical yun. Kasi bakit ka mag-a-apply ng Chinese visa kung meron kang Chinese passport? Tsaka hindi ka naman i-issuehan ng Chinese government ng Chinese visa kung alam nilang citizen ka nila. Malalaman naman yan, may technology naman sila.
Hindi nga eh, kung iniba mo yung pangalan mo. Di ba? Kung ang ina-accuse nila ng illegally immigrate dito, iniba niya yung pangalan dito. So syempre, when she applies for a Chinese visa using her new identity, hindi na magre-reflect sa...
Pangatawanan mo yung cover mo.
Hindi. Tsaka hindi na magre-reflect sa sa Chinese counterpart natin. Ngayon, kung you apply for a Chinese visa using her old name, syempre doon magpiping yan.
Sabi nila, Pilipino naman daw si Guo Huaping. Sila Jo Marie yan eh. Jo Marie, Mark, tsaka si Eric Proctuso. Guapings! Pinapatawa ko lang po si Diego, pero that's a serious issue po yan po kay Mayor Banban or kay Alice Guo. Dahil every day, we've seen iba't ibang mga papers, documents na lumalabas. At sabi nga ni Senator Win Gatchalian ay marami pa siya na maaaring ilabas tungkol nga dito sa pagkatao ni Mayor Alice Guo. Hindi daw ito, sabi ng lawyer ni Mayor Alice Guo, hindi daw si yan. Yun, tingnan mo yung
Ayun, si Guo
Huaping. Hindi daw si Mayor Alice Guo yan.
Baka si si Alice Tap.
Kasi Alice Guo.
Wala lang, nakikijoke lang ako. Pakornihan na tayo.
Alright, let's move forward. Now, entering our top 3 is the recent harassment incident in the West Philippine Sea. The Armed Forces of the Philippines released new videos proving their claims of China Coast Guard's aggressive and brutal actions against our troops during a resupply mission. Brian Castillo with the report.
This footage from one of the Philippine Navy's coastal patrol craft shows how the Chinese Coast Guard pursued and harassed the resupply mission to Ayungin Shoal early Monday morning. This video shows how the two Chinese boats chased and repeatedly collided with the rigid-hulled inflatable boat used by the Philippine Navy. Not far from their location, a larger China Coast Guard ship can be seen observing. The Philippine boat tried to avoid them, but one of the Chinese boats caught up and blocked their path. The subsequent scenes were not captured on video. But in a press conference earlier today, AFP Chief of Staff General Romeo Browner confirmed that China Coast Guard personnel were armed with bolos, spears, and knives. They allegedly used these weapons to puncture the rubber boats of the Philippine Navy. The Chinese personnel who boarded one of the Philippine boats threatened the crew and took away the box and disassembled weapons that were intended for the BRP Sierra Madre.
They have no right or legal authority to hijack our operations and destroy Philippine vessels operating within our exclusive economic zone. For me, this is piracy already, no? Piracy, because they boarded our boats illegally. They got our equipment, no? Again, no? Parang mga pirata na po sila dun sa mga ginawa nilang actions na yan. No?
In the newly released videos of the AFP, it is clear that CCG forcibly attached ropes to tow the AFP's vessel. Their personnel also threatened our troops with a pickaxe. They also deployed tear gas, sirens, and strobe lights to create disorientation among our soldiers and intensify the chaotic situation. In total, it is alleged that China seized 7 guns. Currently, the military admits that they have not yet recovered the seized guns from the China Coast Guard. Browner reportedly wants the guns to be returned and will also demand damages from China. Browner also refuted allegations that the Philippine soldiers did not fight back.
No, lumaban po tayo. But then again, may mga limitations po tayo because number one, no, we were outnumbered. Yung dalawang rib natin, ang katapat niya 8.
The Philippine Coast Guard also finally explained its alleged absence in Monday's RORE mission. Their role was said to be limited after rescuing a soldier who had his finger severed.
We provided the rescue activity required, the medical aid, the towing of boats which were destroyed. Our role was limited to that.
The AFP Western Command also admitted to have made changes in the way the RORE mission was conducted to test which method would be more effective.
The flag officer in command was informed, the chief of staff was informed, and the Secretary of National Defense.
Earlier today, Browner personally visited and awarded the Wounded Personnel Medal to Seaman First Class Jeffrey Facundo, an underwater operator who is recovering at a hospital in Puerto Princesa City, Palawan. Facundo is the soldier who lost a finger during the incident.
Pagka gumaling ka pa, may balak kang bumalik?
Sir, kahit saan sir, basta may order tayo. Laban tayo, sir.
Even though some Filipino soldiers were injured, China has categorically denied acting aggressively. They claim that their interception of Philippine boats was done in a professional manner, and that they did not take direct action against the Filipino soldiers. For News 5, Brian Castillo, VR1 News.
Going straight to our top 2, Mayor Baste Duterte hits Senator Bongo for his silence over the issues hounding Davao City. Duterte called out Go for his absence in rallies in support for the Dutertes. The mayor says Go should know that he is one with the Davaoeños if he still wants to run as senator.
Ikaw, Bongo, kumpare ta ka, pero kung alam ko lang pala na magkakaganito, yung mga tao, yung mga nagboto, kami, mga
Our top story is Vice President Sara Duterte. The Vice President resigned as the Marcos administration's education secretary yesterday. Is this the final nail in Uniteam's coffin? Here's the report.
Earlier today, June 19, 2024, I sought an audience with the President and tendered my resignation as the Secretary of Education effective July 19, 2024. I have given my 30-day notice to ensure the proper and orderly transition for the benefit of the next Secretary.
Vice President Sara Duterte officially announced her resignation as the Education Secretary yesterday. VP Sara did not mention the reason behind this decision, but she insisted that this is not a sign of weakness.
Ang aking pagbibitiw ay hindi lulan ng kahinaan, kundi dala ng tunay na malasakit para sa ating mga guro at kabataang Pilipino. Hindi man ako ang tumatayong kalihim ng edukasyon, mananatili akong isang ina na nagmamatyag at titindig para sa kapakanan ng bawat guro at bawat mag-aaral sa Pilipinas.
Senator Win Gatchalian, who is also the Senate Chair on Basic Education Committee, expresses shock over VP Sara's resignation.
Marami na kaming naumpisahan para ayusin ang education system natin at nahihinayang lang ako dun sa mga naumpisahan natin. Nakakagulat rin ako.
Meanwhile, the Alliance of Concerned Teachers said that VP Sara should have resigned as the Education Secretary a long time ago.
Wala naman siyang niresolbahan sa issue ng guro at buong sektor ng edukasyon, katulad ng kakulangan, paano tutugunan yung kakulangan sa guro, sa silid-aralan, paano pa makakamit yung nakabubuhay na sahod ng guro.
Aside from the Education Secretary post, VP Sara also resigned as the Vice Chairperson of the National Task Force to End Local Communists' Armed Conflict. President Bongbong Marcos accepted her resignation, but he has yet to make a statement about this. Former presidential spokesperson in staunch Duterte ally Harry Roque declared that VP Sara's recent actions formally dissolved the Unity Political Alliance. He also said that VP Sara is now the leader of the opposition. But for political analyst Edmond Tayaw, VP Sara is not yet part of the opposing side.
Hindi naman nagsabi ang pangalawang Pangulo, kumbaga ay dahil sa kanilang paghihiwalay, lahat na lang ng gagawin ng gobyerno ay tututulan niya o i-criticize niya. Mabuting tandaan natin na ang mga naging statement naman ng pangalawang Pangulo, to be fair, the objective has been quite constructive. Makikita natin hindi necessarily consistent sa linya ng kanyang tatay.
Now let's get to know more about this recent development.
We have political analyst and Strat-Based Institute President Dindo Manhit on the line. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Angelo.
Yeah, sir, well, I think we all expected VP Sara to resign as DepEd Secretary, but did you expect it this early?
You could say it's surprising for her to resign at this time. But we have long expected it since the start of the year, given the strong statements, by not only by the father but by the siblings, against President Marcos Jr. And it even became too personal, with no valid, supporting data on their attacks. So it's just that yesterday was a surprise.
With these recent movements, will we see now more rhetoric from VP Sara, or paunahin niya lang muna yung mga allies niya?
We can expect her to, I'll use the word calibrated,
Okay.
Because it could backfire. Now, she is in the same position as former VP Leni Robredo, who attacked a sitting president and backfired, and she lost support along the way.
Yes.
So what we should look at now is what will be their next step. But what I'm looking forward to is how do they define themselves as we go into an election season by October, when the filing of candidates for the midterm election will end.
Yes.
So as they position themselves there, I think we'll have greater clarity on the political position of VP Sara.
That's what I wanted to ask, sir. They're claiming to be now the leader of the opposition. However, if you look at the reason why VP Sara won in the first place, is at the time she ran with President Bongbong Marcos, they were on the same page as to ano yung platform. And the other side naman, yung Liberal Party, claims sila pa rin ang opposition. So medyo muddled na po ang political landscape. What happens now to the Liberal Party po, yung mga tinatawag nilang yellow and pink, and what happens now to sila yung Duterte base, ngayon na nag-resign na nga siya formally from the Unity team?
I find it the opportunity for the Liberal Party, who would really like true reforms in our government, or the so-called yellows, I should say, to maybe work with the current administration, as we have seen that for nearly 2 years, the government of Marcos Jr. has really pushed reforms, both at the executive and the legislative level. So maybe they can go beyond politics, as usual, and they could think beyond politics and see themselves as active partners.
Okay.
That would be where I would like the Liberal Party. But unlike with the Duterte family, they have defined themselves quite critical of the president, and quite critical, especially in the foreign policy side of the president vis-a-vis China. And they should be, that we have seen is a clear division now on policy positions of both personalities and the Marcos and its political allies.
Right. And sino po ang magbebenepisyo dito po sa mga nangyayari na ito ngayon, no recent developments sa political landscape ng Pilipinas in terms of alliances, dahil nga po, 'di ba, how will this affect itong the Marcos administration's plans for the 2028 national elections? And we all know naman po na ito nga pong unity team na binuo nila nung nakaraang eleksyon ay composed po of different politicos, o politicians na parehas po silang sinuportahan.
What is clear with us is that Marcos and the Dutertes are now divided politically. So we will see again by October, as people file their candidacy, as people define to what alliances or coalitions they will be, then we will see by the time. At this moment, everything is speculative. But if you'll ask my strategic opinion, I see a lot of parties coalescing with the president.
Yes.
More than the Duterte. I see a lot of opponents in the 2022 election coalescing with the president. Because a lot of them are supportive of the reform and governance agenda of the president.
And it's interesting.
It might isolate the Dutertes going into the 2025 election.
Well, it's interesting you said that with coalescing with the president. Some say that the president's policies are very similar to that of former late President Noynoy Aquino. Then can we now see a possible appointment from that side of the fence, possibly former Vice President Leni Robredo as a DepEd Secretary, which could form a new alliance?
I don't see appointments. There might be no interest, but a stronger, more than appointment, is really a political coalition to win the 2025 election collectively. And I'm referring not to Leni Robredo only, but I'm talking to Lacson Soto tandem, or Isko Moreno, or Manny Pacquiao, all working together in one true unity government, not limited to Duterte and Marcos only.
Okay.
Alright, on that note, marami pa po kami gustong itanong sa inyo, but unfortunately, we don't have much time. But for the meantime, thank you so much, political analyst and Strat-Based Institute President Dean Domanhit.
Thank you.
Ayun, very interesting. Dami nangyayari.
Dami. Oo, nagkagulo-gulo na. Nagsanga-sanga na yung mga political alliances dito. Pero ang tanong dyan, di ba, bumaba ba ang bigas? Bumaba ba ang gas? Di ba? May mga mahihirap pa rin. Yan ang at the end of the day.
Manood pa rin kayo tomorrow kasi may brunch pa bukas.
Yes.
And with that, I'd like to leave a quote for everyone who is struggling today. Remember, the struggle you're in today is developing the strength you need tomorrow. Quote from Robert II. And that wraps up today's episode of Brunch. Join us again tomorrow. I'm Angela Castro. And I'm Angelo Castro III. We are One News, all sides, all the time. Bawi na ako sa'yo.
Ikaw si Angela.
Mic drop.
Mali ka naman.